Hello and welcome to the final little section of final video in the Strixhaven set review slash sort of just first impressions. We are doing the colorless, the artifacts, and the lands in the last video. And I suppose since this is the last video and I'm dying since I've been doing this all day, we'll go ahead and jump right into the colorless spells. A little quick note on all the colorless spells. These are, I believe, all lessons, correct? So I'm not entirely convinced they'll be, I'll say, first off, if you're playing a colorless commander, like an Eldrazi or something, you're gonna fucking love these cards. Since they're more devoid cards, basically. Anywho, on to the first. Environmental Sciences, which is a good class to take. 2 generic mana for a sorcery lesson. When you search a library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 2 life. A 2 mana, find a basic land in your deck and put it in your hand. Gain 2 life. It's like not bad. If you're running a colorless deck and you don't have access to like normal spells, again, whether you're like your Eldrazian commander or something like that, mono, like the more popular versions of like mono brown decks that don't run like colors, they just don't really run basics. So that's the only place I can think you'd really run this. Oh, because if you're, I mean, and I guess maybe you can run it in colors that aren't green, and you want to like get access to your basic lands as a form of ramp. Also looking at you, mono red, basically the non-ramp colors in Commander. I'm sure you'll love this card. I'm not super sold on it in Historic, but I could see it maybe popping up. Next, we have Expanded Anatomy. 3 generic mana for a sorcery lesson. Put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn. Honestly, really not that good. The fact that it gets a little bigger and vigilance is the only saving grace of this card. This I don't see anybody playing under any circumstance in Historic. I wouldn't even play this shit in Commander. I mean, unless my colorless commander really likes +1/+1 counters. And even then, I'm like, eh. Next we have Introduction to Annihilation for 5 generic mana, sorcery lesson. Exile target non-land permanent, its controller draws a card. This is one of those, every color, now that I think about it, can basically, well, let me reword this. If your color or your collection doesn't have the ability to like exile non-land permanents and you're like really feeling like you need it, you can run this card. It's one of those, it's not good to give your opponent a card as a general lesson, but I understand it's better to exile their big scary motherfucker that's like a known threat as opposed to a card which could be anywhere from a land to like something either worse or better. I understand that. So only run this card if you don't have the ability to, either in your color or your collection, to exile non-land cards, as it is a common. So I just now realized also, small side note, again, these are lessons that can be learned up in Best of 1. Maybe these will see more play in Best of 1, but again, I don't really play Best of 1. I just now realized that part. Then we have Introduction to Prophecy. 3 mana, scry true, draw 1 card. If you're playing it, honestly, this I could see actually, this could actually see play in like mono white and mono red decks, which sounds fucking crazy. Again, also if you're running like colorless decks, either in Commander or in Historic, you'll enjoy this card. But in my example of white and red decks, again, they don't really have a whole lot of like good ways to draw cards. but fucking weirdly, this is actually not that bad. Now, red, it's like, you can take it or leave it. It's like, okay. Again, it's like more permanent card draw. It's more permanent card draw, but it's lesser quality. So you have to decide, do you want better impulse draw or worse, like, permanent draw? But that's a judgment call. Mono white doesn't really have shit for card draw. That's just, like, pretty, like, permanent in that the Introduction to Prophecy will actually allow you to do. This card might actually be like a fucking sleeper card. And last in the colorless, we have Mascot Exhibition. 7 mana, Sorcery Lesson. Create a 2/1 white and black Inkling, creature token flying, a 3/2 red and white Spirit token, and a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. No. Let's see, that's Silver Quill. That's Lorehold. And that's Prismari. I feel like you're missing a couple there, but hey, what do I know? 7 mana, summon several dudes. It's very pretty art, but I'm not like sold on this one. I weirdly think that's well, probably the second worst one behind Expanded Anatomy. Where, again, Introduction to Prophecy, I actually think this card might be very good. But now we're on to the artifacts proper. I'm going to try to avoid saying each one's an artifact here to save time, so just assume that for this section they're all artifacts, because they kind of are. Now we have Biblioplex Assistant, 4 mana 2/1, Gargoyle with flying. When it enters the battlefield, put up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. I mean, it's fine. It's like weird recursion of spells. It's like, Again, it's a draft card or a good learner card, as I imagine a lot of these lower rarity ones will be. But that's also kind of always been what artifacts have been, and colorless spells as a whole, giving a worse generic version of a otherwise relatively rare effect to any color. Campus Guide, 2 mana, 2/1 Golem, that when you enter the battlefield, you may search your library for basic land, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top. Alright, I mean, a 2 mana 2/1 is like not awful on curve to help you like fix lands. Like, that's actually not that bad. Next we have Cody Varicious oh, that's, I don't know if that's a word, but like, fuck me. Vociferous Codex. 3 mana 1/4 legendary construct. You can't cast permanent spells. Now, lands are not spells, so I think you circumvent that. For 4 of any mana, you can tap to add Wooburg. When you cast your next spell this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile an instant or sorcery card worth lesser mana value. Until the end of the turn, you can cast that card for free. Each other card exiled this way, put it on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it's like a spell birthing pod? Kinda? This is kinda cool, but I don't know if it's good. This is a fucking hilarious commander, though. I see, like, goofy shit with this happening. In Historic, though, I mean, maybe. You never know, I guess. But I'm into it. But we'll have to see. Cody's a fucking wild card, so. Next, we have Cogwork Archivist. 6 mana, 4/5 construct with reach. I guess because he's just literally tall. 2 mana and tap. You may put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. These effects will usually show up. They never really see any sort of constructed play, but in limited they're nice. For one, the actual body of the Archivist itself is nothing to scoff at. And it's the ability to put things from your library on the bottom, or from your graveyard into the bottom, is like a good way to sort of circumvent the limited size of your deck, which is like usually something like, what, 40 cards? But these never ever see play in Constructed. It's a purely limited card. I wouldn't even teach people to play with this card. Excavated Wall, 1 mana 0/4 for a wall with Defender. 1 and tap to mill a card. It's fine. Defender Tribal might enjoy another cheap wall, but even then, the mill a card could be relevant. It's always nice to, if you are a type of deck that wants to mill yourself, hey, you'll take what you can get. Next is the Letter of Acceptance. This is very sweet, by the way. Letter of Acceptance, 3 mana. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. You pay 2 mana to tap and sack the letter to draw a card. It's fine. Another 3 mana rock with some upside. Fucking Manolith's gotten fucking the shit kicked out of it over the recent years. These cards never really see play ever. It's a commander card. It's fine. Or like a limited color fixer. And an okay teaching card, I guess. Reflective Golem, 3 mana 2/3 Golem. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets only Reflective Golem, you may pay 2. If you do, copy it. Choose new targets for the copy. It just won't see play. Even spells like that Vidalcan fucking Beam Splitter Mage, that's the name of it, that came out in Ravnica. While it's a funny card, it is not good. There might be some like silly meme shit, but like it's fine. Spell Satchel. 2 mana artifact. Magecraft, when you cast or copy instant or sorcery spell, put a book counter on the satchel. Tap and remove a book counter from the satchel, add a colorless, so you can pay 3 to tap and sack 3 book counters to draw a card. These are fine. Again, they never really see play. They're mana rocks. You might see play in like a commander deck or something, or like a brawl deck. But I don't think you'll see play anywhere else. Yes, the Strixhaven Stadium. 3 mana artifact. Tap to add a colorless. Put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. When a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. When a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then, if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game. 3 mana, like, sort of mana rock, but also, like, an alternate win con, which is kind of fucking cool. I don't know if it's good, but it is cool. This set, I suppose it makes sense that this set wouldn't have a buttload of artifacts, being a mage college. So, and I mean, it's fine. Actually, not every set needs an ass load of artifacts. Really, quite the opposite is true. Team Pennant, 1 mana artifact equipment. Where equipped creature gets +1/+1, has vigilance and trample. Where you can equip it to a creature token for 1, or to any creature for 3. That's fine, actually. That's not that bad. So, I mean, yeah, it's... I mean, I don't know if it... I don't think it'll see much play in Historic, but, like... I mean, I don't know. You could be wrong, but, This is not, like, calling out to my brewer's brain to, like, try and make some shit happen, you know? Next is Zephyr Boots. 1 mana equipment. Equipped creature has flying. When a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, discard a card, and equip for 2. That's fine. Again, these type of effects, like your Rogue's Glove style effects, never really see any kind of play, so it's just a good, like, card draw evasion thing in limited. And it's a good teaching card, actually. That's pretty fair. And the occasional commander deck will also enjoy this as a way to get something flying. And some card selection to colors that might not normally have it. And now we are on to the lands. And I believe it's the last portion of our video. And the end of my day, thank fucking God. Access Tunnel. Tap to add a colorless 3. And tap to attack target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. It's fine. Any lands that add just colorless might see some play in some Forsaken Monument style decks. But other than that, I don't know if we'll see a whole lot of play. Next we have Archway Commons. Enters the battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you pay 1. And just tap to add 1 mana of any color. It's another copy of fucking Rupture Spire. It's fine. It's like, it's good, cheap mana fixing, I suppose. It's not ideal, but it'll do. The Biblioplex. Tap to add a colorless 2 and tap. Look at the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. If you don't put the card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. Activate this only if you have exactly 0 or 7 cards in hand. That is cool. It's funny. I don't think it's good, but this is like, that's some Brewer's Brain, like, funny, goofy shit in my head that, like, it makes me want to do with this card. Yes, the enemy color reveal lands that I think were, as I understand it, started in Innistrad block. So we'll just kind of like run through them real fucking quick. Okay, Frostboil is you tap to add a red or a blue, and as it enters the battlefield, you may reveal an island or mountain from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. If you do, it comes into play untapped. Honestly, a pretty cool little land cycle, I think. Now, people will debate the power level of it, but I think it's just a cool one. Note that it just has to be an island or a mountain. It doesn't have to be a basic. So if you have like a shock land of your respective colors, say a Steam Vents in this case, you can reveal that and be just fine. So the Fury Calm Snarl. Tap to add red or white. Reveal a mountain or plains as you play it, or as it enters. If you don't, it enters the play tapped. Hall of the I don't know why you didn't just do all these in a row, but that's fine. Hall of Oracles. Tap to add a colorless 1 and tap to add mana of any 1 color, so fixing. Tap to put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Activate only as sorcery and only if you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. I do not think this card will see play. I understand the 1/1 counters on, like, non-Quandrix things. Pardon. The 1/1 counters on anything but those fractals make sense as, like, a way to, like, signify through game mechanics the physical, not only the mental growth of, like, learning more spells, but the physical growth that one occurs while you're at Strixhaven. I get that. I just still don't think this is terribly good. I don't know if you'll really run Hall of Oracles. I mean, it's nice for color fixing, I guess, and if you really care about +1/+1 counters. But again, it's like a weird hoop to jump through, so I'm not convinced it's very good. Lorehold Campus, which I think actually might take over the Kaldheim Snow Duels as the new best uncommon land cycle. If you're running budget lands and you only have commons, don't be afraid to make these campuses. I think they're really, really good. They enter the battlefield tap for their respective school's colors, or you can pay 4 and tap to scry 1. I think these things are fan-fucking-tastic, unironically. These might actually be. I know we said that about the Kaldheim Snow Duels, but at least in recent memory, or of any, or for historic best of 3, these might be the best uncommon land you can craft in, like, the entire fucking format as of this video's posting. Again, I love these campus cards. Genuinely 5 out of 5. Like, I think these are going to be fucking killer. Again, the reveal, the black-green reveal land. Very good land cycle. Prismari Campus. I think it's, again, kick-ass card. Would be very good. Quandrix. I think it's a kick-ass card. Would be very good. The white-black reveal land. I think it'll be really good. Silvercore Campus. Again, 5 out of 5. Kicks ass. Blue-green reveal. Good lands. Good, what's the word? Good, cycle. Or good completion of a cycle. These, campuses are so... Fucking, that's so gorgeous, man. I love... That looks amazing. But yeah. Campuses are... Might be... Again, I think are the best common lands that you can craft in the format. It will be... what I recommend as budget replacements, basically, from here on out. And that... Just to make sure. Yeah. That is the very last of our colorless artifact and lands, and by extension is the last video in the Strixhaven reveal little set of videos that we'll be publishing over the next few days, if I do this correctly. So, I'm just going to quickly wrap this up, as I have been talking for like, like 5 hours or so, and my throat's dying. Thank you all for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Sub if you like me. And if you have your own hot takes on if you think card X is going to be great or card Y is going to be garbage, that's what comments are for. Just keep it simple. And with that, remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.